Hi, my name's Chris. I'm a first-generation student. I come from a split home family. My parents divorced when I was really young. I think I was like 3 at the time. And then, my dad was in the military. My mom moved around, so I've kind of moved around from here to there. We've lived in Colorado. We've lived in South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia. Growing up, I guess, in a split home family, my mom, she never got a college degree, never went to college. She got pregnant really young. She was actually 15 when she got pregnant, so she had me when she was 16. So I went back and forth between my father and my mother, and my dad, he was in the military, so he attended Porterville College a little bit before I was born, but he never graduated. But as far as, my parents saving money for college or, talking to me about attending college, I didn't get really any of that. I don't think any of my family had a college degree. My grandparents, my aunts, my uncles. I remember my youngest uncle, Tim Vanni, he was actually one of the first people that I knew of that actually even had a college degree. And part of his, I think, going to college was athletics, because he was a wrestler and he got a scholarship to go to Bakersfield and wrestle. So he was kind of one of the people I looked up to as a mentor growing up. I think it's more of just a generational kind of a thing. So it's just kind of, you do what your parents did, because that's what you're expected to do, I guess, in such a way. My mom got pregnant early. Her parents, they didn't go to college, so it's just kind of generational. They didn't go to college, so we're not going to go to college. They might not know all the aspects of college. They might not even know what to tell you. In high school, I was just going through the moves just like most of the other students there. I didn't really have any counselors, anybody pushing me to go to college. So when I first graduated high school, I was happy to get a job. And that's what I thought you did when you graduated high school. You went out, you got a job, you started making money and supporting yourself. At the time I was already living with my uncle. I had already kind of stopped living with my parents because my dad had moved again because of the military, and I wanted to kind of finish off my high school career at Porterville at Wenatchee High School. And so it was interesting because the Walmart Distribution Center right across the street from us, it was relatively new at the time. And I remember my senior year, they came in maybe like a month before we graduated, and they did our applications right there on Wenatchee campus, and probably hired 50 of us senior graduates from Wenatchee High School. And then I remember I graduated on like a Thursday, and then that Monday I went straight to work at the Walmart Distribution Center. I worked there, 40 hours a week on night shifts for a couple years. My uncle had, kind of been telling me, hey, go to Porterville College, do something. I actually signed up. I, went to classes for a week or two, but I found like when I was working and trying to attend classes, I think it was overwhelming at the time. But at the same time I was working. I started working about 2 years at the distribution center, and when you're there, it was a good paying job. I bought a car and I was supporting myself. But I looked around, I saw all these older, gentlemen, probably in their 40s, and I was like, I can't be doing this kind of backbreaking labor, when I get to their age. And I was like, I need to do something. So then that's when I started going to Porterville College part-time. Really enjoyed it, enjoyed my instructors, the environment, and just continued going part-time. It actually took me about 4 years to graduate, going part-time to Porterville College before transferring. During that time, I had my first son when I was about 22, probably like 2 years in, I guess, or so. And then that was kind of a point in my life where I had to kind of settle down and realize that, I have more responsibilities, and that's when I really kind of buckled down on my studies and studying, lots of A's and being more serious about my academics. And then I transferred down to CSUB after graduating with my AS after about 4 years of part-time. Went there full-time while still kind of working part-time at their distribution center. It took me about another 3 years before I got my bachelor's degree. And even when I did get my bachelor's, I came back to Porterville and I was still working there part-time while I was trying different fields. I was subbing, I was working at the hospital, trying to determine if I was going to go into education or medicine. And then I love subbing. So when I was subbing, that's when I decided, I'm going to pursue a passion in education, and I started working on my teaching credential. And actually ended up kind of stopping that because I got a position here at Porterville College working in the science lab. And I did that for, I guess, about 5 years or so. And then I had the opportunity to kind of lateral down to Bakersfield to do the same position. I kind of took that job because I'd always wanted to go back and get my master's, because I always enjoyed teaching. I always wanted to be back in front of the classroom, and I knew I needed to get a master's if I wanted to teach at the college level. Transferred down to Bakersfield, worked on my master's for about 3 more years. Graduated, and then came back to Porterville. There was kind of no faculty positions at any colleges nearby, so I went back to working on that teaching credential. Taught at the high schools for 3 years, high school, junior high, and then luckily, you know, a position came opened at Porterville College, and you know, I signed up for as soon as possible. So I think I'm a little more understanding as far as what students are required of them. You know, I realize, you know, students have to take night classes because they work during the day, and that's when they can take classes. You realize, you know, students have, you know, obligations, especially if you have children, you know, daycare issues. You have to, you know, if you're a mother, you know, you're providing for the kids, you know, making dinners and laundry and all the things that adults, you know, have to do. So yeah, I think, and then I think too, I share some of my story with my students so that they can relate to me and see what I've gone through. And you know, if I can go through and do it from, you know, being, you know, had no inclination of going to college to, you know, now I'm teaching at college and having to work and raise children at the same time. So there's no kind of, I guess, excuses that, you know, students should have, you know, blocking them from their education, kind of no barriers to, you know, what they can achieve.